Don't worry about me, all is clear, oh. The time is here, yo. I'm worried about you, don't worry about me, all is clear, oh. The time is here.
Carbonation TV.
Yep. Peace reflection. Out here in the jungle with the family. We listening to some good music. We just out here grooving. I wanted to make this video though, a really serious video, a good video, basically honoring the Honorable Master Teacher Nature Boy, and you know, sharing a confession, a carbonation confession, as far as you know, how I was healed, because a lot of us have this misconception about carbonation, about you know, the Honorable Master Teacher Nature Boy, you know, in regards to, you know, the things that have happened, you know, as far as you know, recently Mama Dia had just transcended. She didn't die. She's with us. She's you know, I am Mama Dia. She's with us. But you know, a lot of people don't understand, you know, the miracles that have been performed here. You know what I mean? That the Honorable Master Teacher Nature Boy has truly healed people. And I want to talk about my confession. I want to talk about my healing, because maybe y'all are going through something right now that maybe I can you know, share with you that might be able to help you.
Because I'm only 30 years old. I don't follow the conscious community that deeply prior to social media. So let me give you a brief description of who Dr. York is, for those who don't know Dwight Malachi York. He was basically a pedophile king in New York City years and years ago. And he was a master manipulator and would take in and house a lot of fatherless children around the city. People like so-called Brother Polite, who will admit in this clip, didn't know his mother till he was about 7. Grandma raised him until she died. Didn't know his pops till he was like 17. And Dr. York would take advantage of these children like this, and got arrested in 2002. Basically was running like a pedophile ring, like a cult, and had over 100 counts of child molestation on his head. And he's a real big supporter of LGBT, allegedly, which, like I said, a lot of this stuff is it's like an underground, hidden pedophile agenda, a lot of this stuff. So check this out, and then we're gonna get back into it after the clip.
An organization into the right knowledge. They all went through their own different transformations. So they look up to Malachi as a spiritual leader, different titles, you know. So for them to separate that image of him from him being an actual human being is very hard to do.
Rahu bit to all the Zamal tats. Man, this is love, man. I shook. Yasar. I shook Yasar. Musa. I shook. Rahu bit. So, I'm here and I'm just about to do this reading. There's a little bit, and this is gonna be a short video. This is not gonna be very long, but I am going to read to y'all because there's something that I read in this book that I've been reading, and I really want to get this out because this is something great that we really need to understand. You know, NUWAUPIAN, sapien. Knowledge right here from the master teacher Baba Yanun, who, you know, I mean, brought this book about.
I never be ashamed of sex. My son be breastfeeding, I'll be making love to his mom. That's me, bruh. That's how I get down around kids. I try to keep their purity. I don't want to take their purity away by covering myself up. They're going to be ashamed to cover themselves up. And I'm pure at heart. So you can think in your mind, if I let another kid here, I'm going to have to change the way I am so that your kid can be comfortable around me. No, I'm going to be naked as fuck in front of your kids. My son comes up and grabs my penis. I let him grab my penis. I had sex with his mom. I'm making love to his mother. After I'm done, I'm laying there chilling. He grabbed my penis. He's playing with my penis.
Oh my. Hear me out.
I'm making this totally relevant, right? So yesterday I went to the range, right? Gun range, that is. And my membership fee is about $40, right? I go once a week and I take my children as well. So I go twice a week. There's no charge for my children, right? But, you understand? Ammunition costs, you know, both times that we go. So I normally get 5.56 or 223 and 9mm. 9mm ammunition ranges, it's 50 in a box, you know what I'm saying, bullets. Ranges anywhere between $28 to $35, right? And then 223, 5.56 is 20 bullets in a box. That ranges anywhere between, I say about $14 to about $20-something, and anywhere between that, right? So in total, to go to the range for one full month is gonna cost me about $200. And then I started just adding up everything, you know what I'm saying? You know, my daily bills, you know, excuse me, my monthly bills, as well as, you know, the vacations that I've taken this summer, you know, extra, you know, activities that I do with the children and things like that. And it just dawned on me, if I were a NUWAUPIAN, I wouldn't be able to afford none of the stuff that I can afford, you know what I'm saying, to pay every month. None of it. I wouldn't be able to purchase guns. I wouldn't be able to go to the gun range. This past summer, we went to the beach twice. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to Miami twice, you know what I'm saying, this December. And then next year in February. And my children are going on Miami too. There's no possible way that I would have been able to generate I ain't gonna say generate, because I never really had a problem with making money. You understand? When I was in NUWAUPIAN, the problem that I had was I was giving it all to the NUWAUPIAN nation. So there was no way in the world, there's no way in the world that if I were NUWAUPIAN right now, that I would be able to afford, in reality, my lifestyle. Point blank, period. You want to know why? Because when I was a NUWAUPIAN, Dr. York kept us broke. Now I know what you're about to say. You're about to say, well, weren't you a part of the Durham, North Carolina bookstore and the Charlotte, North Carolina bookstore? And was Dr. Malakazi York head of those bookstores? And I would say no, he wasn't. But what I will say is the reason why I say he's responsible for me being broke is because of the fact that every bookstore, the infrastructure was the same way. You understand? Every member, each member had a turn-in, or rather a quota that they had to turn in every week, right? My quota was $100 a week. And as I made more money, it went higher and higher and higher and higher. There's two brothers that sold bootleg movies, right? At one point in time, I wasn't selling bootleg movies. Well, when I first got into the information, I wasn't selling bootleg movies. They didn't put me up on it, right? I'm talking about the other members, right? So I was just selling oils and incense. I wasn't even making that much money, and that's the reason why my quota was so low. But the dudes that were selling bootleg movies, right? Their quota was $400 or $500 every week, and that's my word. I'm not even making this up. You understand? So what I'm saying is that Dr. York knew how these bookstores were being ran, and he had no problem with it. He had no problem with accepting the money that we was giving him, right? And prior to that, before we got into this whole NUWAUPIAN thing, you know, Dr. York, he was dealing with the Ansar Allah community. And they were running it the same way that they were running with the bookstores when we became HTM, Holy Tabernacle Ministries, or NUWAUPIANs. With the exception of, if you didn't meet your quota, you either got your ass beat or you had to do duty patrol around 717 Bushwick Avenue when they were the Ansar Allah community. So being NUWAUPIANs, I ain't never got beat up. You know what I'm saying? The threat was you was gonna get kicked out if you didn't meet your quota. But back in the days when they were the Ansar Allah community, you could easily get your ass beat. I know a good friend of mine, I ain't gonna even put his name out there like that, you know what I'm saying? Good friend of mine that was an Ansar. They beat his ass so bad when he didn't meet his quota at the end of the week that they broke his nose. So the point that I'm trying to make to you is that at the end of the day, this organization, or rather cult called the United NUWAUPIAN Nation of Moors or Sabians or whatever you want to call it, it wasn't nothing but a cult in order to bring in money for Dr. Malachi York. And I'm telling you, at the end of the day, damn near 90% of the members stay broke. And I was one of them. Straight up. I remember this one dude, I'm going to call him Y, right? Y, the letter Y. And X, I'm going to call this guy X, the one that was in control of the Durham, North Carolina bookstore, right? I remember X used to get on Y all the time about him having a hole in his shoe. Chastising him, talking about how broke he is. But at the same time, while you're chastising him, you demanded that Y, his turn-in was like, or rather his quota, right, was $300 to $500 every week. And then on Sundays, we was going to the strip club. You forgot about that, X, didn't you? And what X would do, he was a master manipulator. So he had Y staying, X was staying with Y. So not only was Y giving X rent, you know what I'm saying, paying bills at the place that X and Y was staying at, not only Y was paying for the quota, you know what I'm saying, turn in $300 to $500 a month. Excuse me, I'm sorry, let me take that back. A week, he was also, X was also getting Y, because when we would go to the strip club, I said I participated in it, I'm not going to even lie. We would go to the strip club after class on Sundays. Y didn't have any money, so X would loan Y money. It got so bad to the point where Y just had a nervous breakdown one day and he was like, yo, I don't even know what to do. I owe X so much money. But this is really what the organization was about. To keep the members of the organization broke and Dr. York rich. And I'm telling you, Dr. York became a millionaire off of, they say off of the books. It wasn't off of the books. It was off of the members that donated money freely. You know how many times Dr. York said that he was going to retirement? You know how many times that he said that the triad, which was 3 master student teachers that was going to take over, you know what I'm saying, on the land and start teaching? You know how many times he said that? Oh, you know, I'm going to retire. I'm just going to let the triad do it, you know, teach. And then he was like, you know, peace is truly wonderful in the land. You know, they throw this campaign out, you know, let's set up a retirement. Excuse me, no COVID. No, retirement fund for the master teacher to retire. And then it never happens. You understand? But Dr. York he didn't become a millionaire off of the books. He didn't. He became a millionaire off of us. Because at the end of the day, we wasn't really making no money for us dealing with the comic books that he was writing. We were really making money off of everything else except for the comic books. And this is the reason why throughout the United States, if you go to the average NUWAUPIAN table, with the exception of New York, because it's based there. I mean, go figure. At the end of the day, outside of New York, you'll see Dr. York's books, but you'll see other shit on the table. That's how we made money. We made money off of boot. I know for my bookstore, we made money off of bootleg movies, CDs, mixtapes, dollar tapes, all of that. Scarves, hoodies, scullies, all of that. We ain't made no money off the damn books. We would go down like every week. Every bookstore had to do this. Every bookstore had to drive down to Edenton and buy books at a wholesale price. Even though the books that we had, at least in my bookstore, we had tons of books in the closet that we didn't even sell. We still had to go down there and buy books at a wholesale price and then come back up and sell it at a retail price. And we were just, in other words, what I'm saying, we were overstocked with books. And then the remainder of the amount of money that was left over, we would give it towards Pops. Now, this is a rumor. I'm not going to sit here and say that this is factual. But the owner of the bookstore that I was a part of in North Carolina, I'm going to name him X. His brother said that he was skimming off the top. So not only, I don't even want to go into that, man. But not only, I'm going to go into it. Not only were we getting robbed by Dr. Malachi York, but X was skimming off the top. And that ain't, please, most of the Ansars, they would own bookstores, right? And they would skim off the top before they would give their the total turn-in of each bookstore down to the land. This organization, or rather cult, was just full of crooks and criminals. So everybody was basically getting robbed. And they're still doing it till this day. Ever since Dr. York got locked up, they have asked for money. And most of that money never goes to the legal, to the lawyers. The York family has complained for many years of how the organization, or rather the cult, the people that's in the cult, are stealing money from Dr. York. They're creating these fake GoFundMe pages, and they're taking money as we speak. But nobody wants to talk about that. And guess what? I really don't have a problem with it. You want to know why? Because it's like Malcolm X said, it's the chickens coming home to roost. Dr. Malachi York was stealing from people for years, so why not someone steal from him? This organization wasn't about saving souls. This organization was about pimping us, taking our money. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you. Everybody in the organization, or rather cult, was poor. We didn't have nothing. So you're trying to figure out how in the world did Dr. York make millions off of people that didn't have shit? You want to know what? This is my opinion. Seriously, I'm gonna be real with you. This is my opinion, right? I truly believe that Dr. York came up with this whole concept of stating, I mean, the 5%ers had did it prior to him, you understand? But he really put the nail in the coffin, you know what I'm saying? By taking, Bible scriptures such as, such as John chapter 10, verse 34, and Psalms 82, verse 6, that said, I have said that ye are gods and children of the Most High. So we had this God-like concept. Just think about that. We were brainwashed with this God-like concept. When you give an individual a battery in their back, and some of you all don't know the slang, but in other words, when you motivate and you stimulate the people and make them think that they're more than what they are, man, they'll be able to do anything. So I will say this. One positive thing that the organization or cult taught me is that, if you give black people back their history, and you tell them that they were gods and they were kings and queens and all the rest of that shit, that'll motivate them to act like one. But see, the thing of it is that the reason why it didn't go but so far is because Malachi York put a cap on it. He said that he was the person to come down here and save the 144,000. So yeah, we were gods and goddesses, but we needed him. Straight up. Yeah, we could do all of these powerful things, get the barytheric gland reinserted inside the lower, our chin right here, which would bring about our four higher senses. Four higher senses being telepathy, psychometry, intuition, and clairvoyance. But we needed him in order to get that barytheric gland. So everything had to always go back to him. We couldn't be gods and goddesses on our own. Nah, we had to rely on him. You understand? So we had no problem with giving up any and every damn thing. You know how many people have died with nothing in their pockets because they gave everything that they had towards the organization? There's been a lot of people that have done that. You understand? And it's a shame. It's a shame, and it's a disgrace that at the end of the day that this organization, this cult, it appeared that, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? We're here to save the people. We're here to uplift black people and blah, 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 blah. But it's nothing but a scam. That's it. I remember, let me tell you something. I remember like every Savior's Day week, right? Savior's Day week was in celebration of Dr. York's birthday that happened every June the 26th, right? So his birthday was June the 26th, but it fell on that Savior's Day week. They call it Savior's Day week because, Dr. York never said that he was a savior, but his birthday was on Savior's Day week, and they celebrated him. So he was our savior, technically. You understand? He had a way with, indirectly saying that he was a savior, right? But every year, right, in that week, he would put out anywhere between 20 to 30 new books, right? And you know what I caught on to something, man. After like the 3rd year, I was like, yo, he keeps on writing the same book over and over again. And every year we would say, oh, he wrote over 400 books. Oh, he wrote over 500 books. Oh, he wrote over 600 books. What we were doing were including the revised version of a book that he wrote 4 or 5 times over again. For an example, he rewrote damn near 4 or 5 times. What is NUWAPU? Are There Black Devils? Leviathan 666 Part 1 and 2. I mean, the list goes on. He rewrote the Holy Tablets, and then he extracted the mind. He took the mind book and Your Potential book. He took that out of the tablets and turned it into a book. You know what I'm saying? So he was basically recycling the same damn information that he wrote last year again, but saying that it's a new book that he's putting out. And this time, instead of last year, the books were like $10, $15. This time, you know, they were hardcover. They had color to them. You know what I'm saying? The paper was a little bit, you know, it was like paper. You know, it wasn't recycled paper like the little small pamphlet books, right? So he would charge $20, $30, $40, $50. Man, shit, the Holy Tablets, the new Holy Tablets, that shit was like 100. I think it was like $1.25 or something like that. All of this shit wasn't nothing but a scam. Period. And Dr. York, he knew that we were selling boot, even though he told us not to do it. He knew we were selling bootleg movies and CDs and all the rest of that stuff. Matter of fact, anyone that had, any bookstore that had the most turn-in, that's the one he most favored. That plain and simple. You see, this is the thing. You know, I get all of these, you know, threatening, you know, comments in the comment section of my videos, you know, you're going to regret everything that you said about Dr. Malachi York when I see you. You know what I'm saying? You're lied on a master teacher. You're an agent. You're a black devil. You're this, you're that. And the thing of it is that I thought the very foundation of NUWAPU, or rather this organization, was built on truth, right? I'm not telling any lies. I'm not making up any of this shit. Straight up. I'm just trying to understand this. How is it that you have a shitload of people telling the world that Dr. York is a child molester, that he stole from us, he did this, he did that? Even the children of Dr. York have said that, some of them, right? I'm trying to understand, why you believe in one person that's locked up in jail that admitted he's on. They have footage of him being in court stating that he's guilty of the charges. He admitted guilt. You all still are saying that, you know, the people that's telling the truth, such as myself and others, are liars, and that we're agents and we're black devils. You're believing in one person, which makes you no different from a Christian. So I'm trying to understand for some of you all that were Christians prior to being NUWAUPIANs, you haven't walked away from Christianity, because you're still believing that one person is a Messiah, or one person can come and save you. And that's crazy to me. That's crazy. I've came to the understanding that no matter what we say, no matter how many facts that we present to you all, you're going to continue to believe the lie. You're going to continue to believe the narrative that Dr. York, or the picture that Dr. York story, the narrative that Dr. York has told, and the picture that Dr. York has painted. That plain and simple. And I really feel sorry for a lot of you all. I really do. You must be living a miserable life right about now. Because I know I used to be part of the bookstores. And I know I wasn't able to afford a pizza at the end of the day, or rather the end of the week, when I had to meet my quota, when my quota was met and I had to turn in. Y'all must really, really feel bad. And that's the problem. I think that you all are jealous because I'm able to live in a nice house. I'm able to, you know, afford a nice cell phone and cameras, and I get to travel and do different things that you all can't do. Because you got to turn in that money every week. And that's crazy. Stop hating. All you got to do is just walk away from the lie. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. And all of these threats, you understand, which I don't understand.
you all are threatening me. You all are threatening me, talking about you're going to do bodily harm to me when you see me. At the end of the day, couldn't Dr. Malachi York just get some of his, like, comic book friends, you know what I'm saying, that he created, called the Anunnakis? You know the Anunnakis? The ones that, you know, he said that was coming down to eat us? Why couldn't he summon the Anunnakis to come down and eat me? Why couldn't he get Krill, the one that healed him while he was, well, he's still in jail. While he was in jail, Dr. Malachi York, that is, you know, of his angioedema. Why couldn't he get Krill, that gray, to come down here and mentally fuck me up in the head where I could go crazy and, you know what I'm saying, be in a padded room or some shit? I'm just trying to understand. Or you all claim, and then not only do you all claim it, but Dr. York said it as well, that he has his barytheric gland. You understand? So why couldn't he, you know what I'm saying, have these mystical powers with his barytheric gland, the 4 higher senses, and, you know, he's walking through walls and all the rest of that shit. Why can't he just walk through the prison, you know what I'm saying, get on his imaginary ship, you know, summon his ship in tones, you know, because y'all trying to get him out because he has the ones he is the one that has the tones to summon the spaceship to come down and get the 144,000. Why can't he do that and then come and see me? Why can't he come and see me in his dreams? Excuse me, I'm sorry, let me take that back. In my dreams. Like you say that he comes and sees you in your dreams. Why can't Dr. Malachi York fend for itself? He is the master of the universe. Master teacher of the universe. That's according to you all. He is the grandson of Anu the Most High. His father is Inky. I'm trying to understand, why do you all have to physically approach me? Why can't your master teacher do it? Why can't he do the dirty work? Or at least have some of his comic book friends do it? I know, because all of this shit wasn't nothing but a goddamn way of making money. And he tricked everybody. And the reason why you're upset and the reason why you're trying to unleash your frustration out on me is because your ass got fooled. Just like I did. You just don't want to admit it. That plain and simple. Now you don't know what the fuck to do with your life, and just admit that shit. Now you don't know where to turn. Just admit it. I understand it hurts. It hurt. It hurt me when I found out that this shit wasn't nothing but some bullshit that was made up in order to make money for Dr. Malachi York. But you know one thing that I did? I took on a responsibility. You understand? And I said that, you know what? Regardless of whether I was tricked, it's my fault. You need to own up to your responsibility. You need to be responsible for the bullshit that you took yourself through. And know this, and I'm gonna end it, I'm done. And know this, you don't have to continue doing this shit. Let me tell you something, it feels goddamn good to have money in the bank. To know that if this shirt gets raggedy, I can buy another one. To know that every Sunday, I ain't gotta go to that dumbass class and shit and teach. I can sit there and look at the football games. To know that Monday through Friday, or Monday through Sunday, whatever I do to make money, guess what? It's all going to me and my family and I. It ain't going to no fucked up organization or rather cult. It ain't going towards an individual that's in jail that admit guilt that he did these atrocious things that they said that he did. It ain't going towards his legal fees knowing that he ain't never getting out. Ever. You could pop that shit that, oh, he was born in Ghana, Ghana one day, and then the other day he was born in Sudan, and then the other day he's from the 8th planet, Risk, 19th galaxy, Ilium. No matter what the hell you say, he ain't getting out. He ain't getting out. I'm gonna end it like this. The day he gets out, he won't be moving. That plain and simple. Your master teacher has hurt people.
But York, are you now under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or narcotics? You understand you are charged with 40 counts of aggravated child molestation, that you could receive a maximum sentence of 30 years in confinement for each count, that you are charged with 34 counts of child molestation, that you could receive a maximum sentence of 20 years in confinement for each count, that you are charged with 1 count of sexual exploitation of children, and you could receive a maximum sentence of 20 years in confinement, and you are charged with 2 counts of influencing witnesses, and you could receive a maximum sentence of 10 years in confinement for each count, and that you could receive a minimum sentence overall of 10 years on probation. I'm telling you the most and the least. Do you understand that?
Actually, Your Honor, it would be 10 years for aggravated child molestation, and the minimum is 10 years in confinement.
But minimum then would be 10 years. Do you understand that? You understand you have a right to an attorney, and in fact, your lawyer, Mr. Aurora, is here with you and representing you. Is that correct? I'm going to inform you of certain other rights that you have, Mr. York, and inform you of the fact that if you plead guilty, you give up these rights. You have a right to trial by jury. You're presumed to be innocent. You have a right to confront any witnesses the state presents against you. You have a right to subpoena any witnesses you want to appear and testify for you. You have a right to testify and offer other evidence if you want to. You have a right to the assistance of an attorney during a trial. You have a right not to incriminate yourself. You have a right to plead not guilty or remain silent, not in any plea, and in either case automatically obtain a jury trial. You understand these rights, and understand if you plead guilty, you give up these rights. You heard the recommendation the state made. Is that the recommendation you understood the state would make? Did you in fact do what the district attorney, Mr. Bright, told me you did? How do you plead, guilty or not guilty, as to all the indictments that were cited by the district attorney? Did anybody force you or threaten you in any way to cause you to enter this guilty plea? Did anyone promise you anything to cause you to enter this guilty plea? Are you satisfied with the services of your attorneys, not only Mr. Aurora, but your other attorneys? Were you able to hear and understand my statements and questions to you? He's under oath that he enters plea.
Your Honor, we've gone up this. It's withdrawal of not guilty plea, entry of guilty plea, and it comes down to both the defendant both trial case, withdraws his plea not guilty in this case. Ways to constitutional rights, pleads guilty as charged the offenses of. I've already enumerated those on the record. They're the same ones I've enumerated on before, Your Honor. I signed on behalf of the state. After you signed on behalf of the state.
Clear? Malachi York, I find you plead guilty was freely, voluntarily, and knowing manner. There was a factual basis for your plea. I accept your plea.